Good day. This is another interesting episode of the Spice on Leadership TV. My name is Cynthia Onwado. And of course, today we have a special guest on the program with us. Guess what? He's a Nigerian singer, songwriter, record producer, and record label executive. He's also a son of a legendary Afro Juju Nigerian musician. Today we'll be talking about his music career, of course, Afro beats and artist collaborations and comparisons and everything that has to do with his journey. So stick around here with us to find out who exactly our special guest is. You don't want to miss out. I'll be right back.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country.
The son of legendary Nigerian Afro Juju musician I.K. Dairo, Paul Babatunde Dairo, is a mechanical engineer by training, a leading Nigerian R&B artist, producer, and songwriter who has warmed the heart of many with his lovely and incurably romantic songs. Popularly known as Paul Play, he was raised by his father, and this background, plus his creative mix of R&B, rap, traditional highlife, and juju music, accounts for his uniqueness in the Nigerian music scene. Paul started singing at the age of 11, and at 19, he made his first entrance into the music industry as a producer and songwriter, producing radio jingles for various advertising agencies. He is known to have produced a lot of Nigerian artists in the 80s and 90s. In 1999, after being signed to Kenny's Music, Paul Play released his first album with a hit song, Moshorire. A remix of his father's original and other great songs to his credits. Under the same record label, he released a second album with big songs like Mowa Dupe and Leave Me On. Paul eventually left Kenny's Music on the expiration of his contract in 2002 and set up his own record label, Playground Entertainment. In 2005, he released his first album, Hitsville, under Playground Entertainment. In the album was a hit song, Angel of My Life.
Waiting all my life for the one I love. She's always in my dreams. She's my.
The success of the Hitsville album expanded Paul's fan base to all the African countries. His contributions to the Nigerian entertainment industry did not go unnoticed, as he's the recipient of numerous entertainment awards. Paul Play Dairo is married with children. Welcome back. We're talking to a Nigerian singer, songwriter, producer, artist, developer, record label owner, a father, and a prodigy of a popular Afro Juju musician. Where we're talking about no other but Paul Play Dairo, that we'll be conversing with this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me on the program. It's so great to have you here.
You're welcome, thanks.
So now, Paul Play, growing up with a musician father, how was it like? How did that particular thing influence you moving forward in your music career?
Well, it's nothing out of the ordinary. It was just, learning the fact that your dad is a musician and will not be around, most of the time. So my dad was always traveling. So I was very close to my mom. My mom was more or less like the dad and mom. So but with the little time that he's around to spend time with his children, we had a lot of very, very memorable times and moments together. So and also it was really difficult for me in school because I really didn't want people to know the son of who I am. So it's always a bit of an issue. I try to hide my name, but once people hear Dairo, that's spark something, and then they come to ask questions. Are you Akidaro's son? But I still try to maintain, not telling them, that Akidaro is my dad. So I try so much to hide, my identity. But yeah, apart from the fact that he was a musician, he was a disciplinarian as well. And yeah, so I think that kind of shaped the person I, became eventually. So having a musician as a father has its pros and cons. So I think, and I really appreciate the pros, and yeah, yeah, here I am.
Now, I also want to know, at what age did you join your father's band and begin to be a part of his music career, and in a way forming yours also?
I had never joined Akida's band. I never at one point joined my father's band. What really happened was because my father had a church. Um, my father was an apostle in Children and Seraphim Church, and it made it very, mandatory for his children to be part of the choir because we used to play the drums. So that kind of um, made it, necessary once in a while. When he's recording in the studio, I joined him in the studio to play some of the drums. And it's not that my dad said, "Look, I really want any of my children to become a musician." It wasn't like that. It was just like, yeah, this is what I do, and it will come in. I've actually joined him, when he went to Ikole Kitty in Ondo State for performance for the King, and I was the one that played the tom tom drum. I've also joined in a couple of recordings in the studio, so it wasn't that I had the opportunity or the privilege to join his band. So, but once in a while, I get to, I'll be a part of what he's doing.
We know that you also produced some major artists back in the 90s and early 2000s. What exactly led to that? Producing for Plantation Boys, Idris, Tony Tetula, if I'm correct. What was it like? What led you to that particular career?
Well, it was passion for it, and it wasn't just my own. I wasn't really convinced, to be candid. I was the quiet one in the family. My late brother, Banjo Dairo, was the one that was really upfront about everything because he could play
Okay.
5 instruments, but unfortunately he passed. So he was the one that actually gave me that, um, actually inspired that interest, and in me. And I wanted to just do something with him because we used to record together. We used to go out to perform together at Night Shift nightclub, right? So from there, I thought probably, okay, we needed to record. At one point, we needed to record an album, and we went to a studio in Jolegba. And yeah, because while all these things was going on, my father wasn't really in the know. He didn't know what was going on, but we were just doing it on our own. So we went to a studio in Jolegba and tried to record them. I wasn't really satisfied with the recordings, and I said, "Oh, I think it's high time I start, playing stuff myself, got myself a keyboard, Casio 100, and I started, learning how to play keyboard from there. So everything about me learning how to play the keyboard was self-taught throughout. So from there, I, had that courage to go into the studio and, get the sound engineer to record my songs. And from there, people started noticing what I do, that I sound very unique. So from there, people started coming to me and I started recording them. And yeah, somehow I found myself working with the likes of Digitrack, Tunde Ajidedidun. I'm sure so many people will not know him. And Kingsley Ogoro too had a studio then, and Clink Studios. I used to go there to produce jingles. So from there, I moved from there to start producing jingles for advertising agencies like Lintas, Insights, SO&U, 414 Worldwide, Prima Garnet, a whole lot of this, songs that you heard those days. Myself and some other guys were behind, the scene. So from there, I started producing young people, who really wanted to change in the music industry, because at that point, it was basically reggae music that was big. And there were a lot of young guys who wanted to do hip hop music. We used to call it Afro hip hop or Afro pop back then, before people started calling it Afro beat. So I was one of the few, guys, myself and OJB. We started producing together, and also with MacIver, who happens to be the in-house producer in Class Studio in Nigeria. So it was a bit of a struggle trying to get, because then it was people, guys like late Samuel Kozo, Albert Kalu. They were the big dogs in the music industry. They were the main producers back then. But myself and OJB just kind of, were so persistent and consistent with our game. And, we found a way out there.
So I also want to know what inspires your creativity, making music, writing music. What are those things that give you drive?
Well, people ask this question so many times. I just wonder, because when you're passionate about something, it comes naturally. And if you're really passionate about anything in life, you will, the expertise will come and you will find a way through. And yeah, I get inspired by anything. I could just sit down, I just make up my mind to write a song, and I'm there writing a song. But sometimes it just comes naturally when I'm just, driving, or I can just wake up from bed and there'll be a tune in my head. So people say probably, okay, the angels give the songs to you or the tunes to you and then you're dreaming. But it just comes up. I feel a melody coming in my head probably when I was dreaming, and I kind of try to remember the melody. And just, because back home in Nigeria, my studio is just next door. So it's easy for me to just, walk into the studio and just start my workstation and begin to work on the project, whatever comes my way. God inspires me, my father inspires me, a whole lot of musicians who have been there have really inspired me. People like King Sunny Ade, Fela Kuti, Chief Ebenezer Obey. So every musician who had done it, Orlando Julius too, and so many other musicians that I grew up, because my father had, the 45 RPM turntable. We used to buy, myself and my brothers used to buy a whole lot of albums back then. So those were my, inspirations, back then from my early age.
So I'd also love to get your take about the fracas going on in the music industry right now between your fellow legends and present generation artists, talking about not being homage and not giving the needed respect. Now, when we talk about paving the way and also artists inspiring each other, what do you have to say? Is there a basis for comparison?
Well, I've been getting so many calls regarding this drama going on in the music industry, especially with the OGs, and between Burna and I guess Idris. To be candid, I'm not the kind that's known to get involved in controversies. So I try so much to shy away from issues that could lead to, some kind of altercations between the old musicians and the new ones. I just, whatever anybody wants to say, I think we're living in a free world. If you come out to say nobody helped you, well, good for you, right? I'm not going to be the one to tell you that, somebody paved with you, because I don't even know your story to start with. So I wouldn't join anyone in that kind of conversation to try to, bring the new cats, hold them responsible for not, we know right from the beginning that Nigerian music industry, I'm not talking about the new ones, I'm talking about the industry itself, do not have respect for pedigree. So this is something that has been going on for a long time. So you can't really blame the new cats for this. I'm not going to blame anybody. Whatever you want to say about your career or how you made it to the top, it's your own prerogative, you know. It's yours. But we knew we can talk about our own struggle. Yeah, so every other person can talk about their own struggle as well. So let's leave that, you know, on that side. So let's talk about this current, you know, back and forth between, you know, Idris, Tony Tequila, and Eddie Remedy. I've been like following some of
Recently,
the.
now we know that there was a fracas between Idris Abdulkarim and Burna Boy, and also recently between J1 and Odumodu Black. So, these conversations about comparison right now, I'd love to get your take on that.
I'm not going to sit here and compare anybody because creativity is subjective, right? You can come out and say this is how you became who you are, and another person can come out to say that's how, you know, they became who they are. But for me, I just believe that the music industry itself is 99% marketing. It's no more about talent. So anybody can just do what anybody wants, and so anybody can hold any brief for anybody. But I'm not going to hold any brief for anybody in this case. I'm just going to say what's on my mind as far as the industry is concerned. Yeah, so I don't know about the J1 and Odumodu Black. I don't know what's going on between them, to be candid, so I can't really say much about them. But with Burna Boy and Idris, it's been nasty, and it's so unfortunate because I believe them. So I know way back then we used to hang out with ourselves. We used to like have Tony Tequila, Two Face, Blackface, Rugged Man, Rough, Rugged and Raw. It was more or less like a family, you know. And so coming out to come and, you know, rubbish each other on social media is really not good. If you ask me, it's not good. But what I would say again is I don't like controversy. I like to speak facts. People have been calling me. Yeah, they've been trying to get me
to get your own
talk about the
take.
situation, the interview. That what's your take? Because I was the one that recorded Omodime and Sherry. I was the one that recorded Tony Tequila's album, the first album after he left.
Oh, wow. Really?
So I did the whole album. Yes, I did that. So wow. I brought in Two Face. I brought in Two Face, Blackface, because Two Face and Blackface were the ones that actually introduced me to Tony Tequila. So because I did the production for them, so it was supposed to be, yeah, they were supposed to do something at Fame Awards. I can't remember that year now. So I was in the studio and the producer did not show up. So the sound engineer said, "Why don't you try Paul?" And I said, "Who's Paul?" So 5 minutes into the whole production, you know, session, they were like, "Wow, I think we like this guy," you know. So yeah, that's how, you know, the news got to Tony Tequila, and they called Tony Tequila and said, "Well, if you really want to work with someone, Paul, please, the right person." So that's how I met Tony Tequila. So everybody all hands were on deck for that production. And I was very happy that it became a success. So that's the only thing I can say as far as this is concerned. But I don't want anybody to feel like I don't have any beef with anybody. I love everybody.
Yeah.
Like I try to make friends, you know. I think back then we were really close, right? We could be in the show and everybody's hanging out. It's compared to what's going on now.
It's too much and unnecessary.
Back then it was like party. So we hang out, we sit down together. Those who drink beer will be drinking beer. Those who are doing other things will be doing what they're doing. It was more or less like, because money was not really in there because we were trying to prove a point, right?
Yeah.
And we were able to just, you know, get Nigerians to listen to us, because back then when you walk into a club, you will listen when the DJ is playing. You only get to hear 2% of, maybe 20% of Nigerian music. The rest 80% is foreign music. But we can see what we achieved for the industry. But I don't care what anybody says, that nobody paved the way for them. But we can see what we did. We can talk about our struggles. We can talk about how we made it. We can talk about how we made Afrobeat mainstream in the music industry, we can talk about that, regardless of what anybody thinks, regardless of what anybody feels. So if anybody comes out to say, nobody pay way for me, I pay way for myself, oh, well and
It's
good,
fine.
because it's the
Good and fine.
prerogative. Cool.
Okay. Everybody has a right to their own opinion, and I'm happy that we got yours. In recent times, too, I remember Burna Boy and Fireboy DML have come out to say that Afrobeat has no soul, it's just lyrics. And this is something that's so dear to every Nigerian. I mean, Afrobeat is one of our imports in the country. We exported Afrobeats to other parts of Africa and even other continents. So, hearing this artist say this about our beloved Afrobeat, what do you have to say? Can you just get into that conversation about Afrobeats?
Well, I
What do you
think
think of it?
I just have this. I can only say this: you can't knock, or you can't burn down the house that you live in. So that, in a way, is trying to make what you created look like nothing, for those who really appreciate it. So that's a real that's a real letdown for the, those comments were a real letdown, right, for the industry, because as far as Africa is concerned, as far as Nigeria is concerned today, Afrobeat is what is the message, is the vehicle, is the soul of entertainment in Africa. So if somebody comes out to say, well, musically, I can also relate with what they're saying. You know what I'm trying to say? I can relate with that. But all the same, you don't have to just say, you have to pull down what you built, right? So that's what I just think. Yeah, if you look at the production, if you look at the lyrical content, it's just like you're vibing. It's just like you're vibing, you're having fun. So it's like fun music, easy go music. When we started, we were a bit, when we started, it was more like, you could relate to a lot of things that we say, and they were more meaningful. But, as time goes on, music, there's always some kind of metamorphosis going on in music creativity. So now it's like, what people are, we now make, then we were making music from our hearts. Like, this is what I want to make. But now people are making music for what do they want out there? What's going on in the clubs? So it's like most people are getting high. A lot of people are drinking in the club. A lot of people are, taking whatever in the club. So the kind of music that we play today kind of fits into what what is needed by our audiences. So whether it has got soul, I know what soul music that actually that is soulful. I know what it sounds like. Also, I know some music that is not touching anybody. It's just for fun. It's just for vibing. It's just for, if you like, you can call it messing around music or supermarket music, but it's still what it is. It is what it is. But I couldn't just, end it like that.
So now, moving forward, we would love to know the artists that you are looking forward to collaborating with. Are you even interested in collaborating with artists? And if you are, who are those artists?
I'm not going to say that on TV. I'm not going to say that because that's another discussion entirely.
Okay.
Because there's no synergy. That I would say it and it's a fact. I'm not going to be the one to stir up some controversy, but there is the kind of a detachment, if I could use that word. I think the older generation are quite detached from these new cats. So that kind of that kind of unity, that kind of networking is really not there. So, and I wouldn't blame anybody because I can say who my favorite is, and tomorrow they put it on paper that this guy is chasing this guy, or please chasing that person. He wants to my God, this OGs, So people are so in Nigeria today, social media is so toxic
People are so
right? It's so
sensitive these days.
toxic that sometimes you read certain things, you just wonder. There was one point I was watching I think it was Idris and I think no, it wasn't Idris, it was Tony Tetfila and Bengawe, and somebody just said, in the comment and said, let these old people just go and sit down, let them go and rest. So it's just toxic, right? So I don't want to tell you who I want to work with, but I've worked with a few of them, and you work with those who can relate with you and people who respect you. And normally you go to where you're respected as a human being. You don't go to where you're disrespected. So I could have in mind to work with somebody and that person might not really want to work with me. So it's always not just about, sometimes not just about the fact that they need to respect you because you're an OG. Probably, their creative direction not aligned with yours. So I don't work with them. So I work with a couple of them. I work with, Keith Daniel, I work with Olamide, I work with Timaya, I work with Nosa Amadi, I work with Runtown. So these are people who respect, my pedigree, and I also respect them as well. So this respect should be reciprocal. Don't say because you're an OG, you're doing Biggie and you're going up and
I'm
down,
picking the
acting
respect
like
from what you are saying.
That respect must be reciprocal. And I think with the few that I've worked with, they're quite good and things came out very well. So very soon you guys will get to hear some of the songs that we worked on. So it's always a proposal. And if you don't get a feedback or you don't get a positive feedback from them, oh well and good. No harassment and no strings attached, nothing, just basic lack of creative, synergy, if I could use that word.
So right now, should we expect some new music from you and other artists? Should we be excited? Should we look forward to something?
Well, I don't know whether to say you should get excited or not, but definitely you get to hear the new songs I work with these guys, some of these guys that I mentioned. But it's going to be coming out in singles because initially I thought probably I was going to release an album, but I felt it's better for me to just drop them in singles. So throughout this year, you get to hear new songs with me and some of the new cuts.
As a record label executive, what can you say about this generation of artists? I know you always run into new artists who say, sir, hear my beats, listen to my lyrics, I want to hear your opinion. What advice do you have for the upcoming artists? Are there things they need to do, extra things they need to do? We'd love to hear that from you, coming from a legend like you.
As a record label, for so many years now, we've not actually signed any new musician. We've not signed any new artists, but we have been working as a publishing and production company. We have also been, we've been actually scouting for artists for other record labels, which is what we've been doing at Playground Entertainment. Just wanted to put a hold on recording or signing new artists. Number one reason, a change in the landscape and a change in it's like changing from Nigeria moving to the UK, which is a different terrain entirely. So I thought about getting settled properly and trying to understand how it works over here, and also looking at ways that we can network and work with record label and record executives and A&R in the music industry in the United Kingdom as well as Nigeria. So it's just a way of very soon my publishing company is also publishing arm of Playground Entertainment is going to start up. We've almost finalized the legal process of setting that up. But yeah, so for so many years now, we've not actually signed any artists, to be candid. But very soon we'll be looking at that. But basically, we will not be like all out to sign artists. One is because it's very expensive. If you really want to break an artist now, you'll be looking at close to between 50 and 100 million naira. So we don't want to, you know, go that, that route now, but until we are really ready to do it, until we have some kind of partnership that can, they can work with us, because we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket as far as I am concerned. So for every artist that really wants to go out there, even basically now, no record label really looks for artists. They don't sign artists anymore, because you ought to have done about 70% of the job, because they need to see that you have a fan base. They need to see that you have followers. You need to see that you're getting streams on your posts. You have to be very creative. You have to actually transform into a content creator and make sure that you post something every day. Don't rest on your hours until you get that. So once you start having followers and start having people streaming your content, and people coming on your page, to try and engage them. Go to other people's pages and get with them. Go look for entertainment platforms all over, not only in Nigeria, because the world is now a global village. You have to reach out, because there are so many platforms as well that have musicians who want to collaborate with any other musician or anywhere in the world. So you have to really spread your tentacles, and that's how you get discovered. So record labels and the big major record labels are not even looking for artists that they want to sign from scratch. They're looking for artists that's already created that traffic for themselves. They're driving traffic in the social media space, and they're really doing good, and they're talented. So once they can see that there's traction in your engagement, and you're moving ahead, and things are really moving up for you on your social media space. And when you see your live performance, they know that you're good enough. So they want to spend their money, put their money with them artists, because it's pretty expensive now to sign artists. So nobody wants to pick an artist from the village of Ondo State, or the village of Akwa Ibom and make them a star. It doesn't work that way anymore. If you check all the artists that are out right now, they will tell you their stories, though, because you really work hard. You really need to work hard and make sure that you are focused on what you're doing. Don't get carried away. The more you work, the more people see. The more content you put out there, the more people will be able to access the value that you have to offer as an artist. So that's what we're looking at. So I'm actually working on two ladies now. Just hoping to see how we're doing test run on their project to see how they fare. And from there, we can now finally decide to release them. So I also have, some industry big heads here, big guys here that we're actually working together to see how we can sign Afrobeat artists. But all these things are just like in the early stage of getting it across, and also making sure that we dot the I's and cross the T's. So fingers crossed, because once the publishing label is down, we can move ahead with Playground Entertainment and start signing artists. Yeah.
All right, back in 2009, we know that you went MIA, that would I say, in the music industry. You kind of went silent and absent, and everybody was asking, where is Coldplay? What's Coldplay? What exactly was going on at that period of your life?
Well, I would say it's like, that was the moment where it's like, how do I put it? It's like, I'll look at it this way: aircraft that is just taking off, the pilot's actually cruising at an altitude of 32,000 feet, and all of a sudden, the aircraft just went down. So that's what happened to me. I just, I had this health challenge that took almost everything away from me. And that was what was responsible for my being out of circulation. I wasn't in the mainstream. I was just quiet because it was difficult for me to come out to perform. And my health challenge actually it lingered on for so many years, and so trying to come back into the industry, understanding that things have changed and people have moved on, and then you really want to, relax and also do other stuff, which is other businesses aside music business. And so that was what happened. 2009, 2010, and it was really hectic. I had a health challenge. I had to go under the knife and came back. I was on StarQuest for 3 years. Yeah, that paid some money for me, and I moved. I was shuttling between the UK and Nigeria because of my kids. Yes, pretty much doing other things and just waiting till I'm fit again. Yeah, so but basically I've just been doing other things like doing my normal when I go back on my feet, I was able to be doing my normal shows here and there, performances here and there and all that. But I just shut myself completely out of the mainstream for personal reasons.
Personal reasons. Would you love to share some of that with us? Some of the personal reasons.
Sorry, I won't be able to mention that. It's personal.
Okay, all right. I respect
For personal
I'll
reasons.
respect
And
that.
maybe someday I'll get to talk about it, but not now.
Okay, fine. We'll be waiting. We'll be here waiting. So now, can you tell us about projects that you are working on, even from music, businesses, and other things you have your hands on?
Yeah, I have my hands on other things. My studio is in Nigeria. My studio is still there in Nigeria. I still run other stuff from there. I still do projects from there. Yeah, and I'm still right now. I'm doing sync placements with sync libraries. Putting my music up for sync libraries here in the United Kingdom, and I've been doing that for a couple of years now. I'm running my shows here since I came to the UK. I've done like 5 shows. I'm also looking at starting all over again because a new year, 2024, we have plans with my management to organize tour, and yeah, so we're looking at that as well. The album project is also there. So by the time I've released like 4 or 5 singles, it should be enough for me to decide to just put out an album at the end of the day. So basically, yeah, that's about everything. And my publishing label is going to start very soon. We're in the final process of getting the legal side of things sorted out. So all well and good.
Okay, we are looking forward to all of that. So now to your family, we know you're married and you're a father. So we just love to know how you met your wife. That's all.
I'm not going to be talking about my family.
Okay.
You know why? Because
we'd love to know.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because it's my life. I decided to put my life on on the stage and let the spotlight shine on me. All right. So I would always like to keep my kids and my family, my wife out of the whole scenario, because that's a mistake that most of these musicians and most of these celebrities make by putting your family out there, because they didn't bargain to be, they didn't bargain for it. They didn't want to be their life out there. They didn't want, their life to be on the spotlight. You chose to be a musician, so you choose the spotlight. So you leave them out of the spotlight while they have their normal lives. Just the way my father allowed me to live my normal life. To that extent. So I always don't discuss my family when it comes to, because this is me. So anything you want to hear about me, you get to listen to. You get to, get all the stuff and information about me. But my family, I just want them to just, enjoy me as a dad and enjoy my money and just live the life peacefully and quietly. Yeah.
Okay, we definitely respect that. We definitely do. Finally, before I let you go, if you could have a superpower, what superpower would you be? Something different. What exactly would that be?
Superpower. Superpower, yeah. Superpower to make a lot of people, as many people as possible, happy.
Okay.
Yes, make as many people as possible happy.
Okay.
That's a superpower I want.
That's good.
I think Nigeria needs that now. A lot of people are not. A lot of people are sad. So if I have that superpower, Nigeria will be the first place I'm going to, exercise my power.
Okay. All right, that's a good one. I respect that. All right, thank you so much, Paul Play Dairo, for doing this interview with us. We're very grateful and honored to have you here on Leadership TV, and we wish you good luck in all your
Thank you.
future endeavors. And we cannot wait for some new music. We'll be right
Thank you
here
so much. Thank you.
waiting. Thank you. I really appreciate you. All right, people, this is where we draw the curtain on the spice for this meeting. Hope you enjoyed the conversation we had so far with Paul Play Dairo. We're looking forward to next week. We'll be back with more exciting episode of the Spice. Stay spicy. Bye.